This is not a laptop, okay? It's a time machine. If you don't believe me, here, try it out yourself. Guys, you can do this too. You can have your own Windows 98 gaming PC if you want. As long as you got a half decent computer, then you're good to go. It's just awesome. So let me show you how. This is the PCem interface, and you can see I already made a Windows 98 computer. But down on the bottom left, you can make your own. So if you were to click on make a new computer, I'll just type in Batpixel, and you'll get all these tabs where you can set the computer up. You have to choose your machine, so there's a whole list here that you can pick from, which is awesome. But this is what I picked, worked best for me. I like to keep the CPU at Intel, but this is the most important part of the whole program. You can change the CPU whenever you want, depending on how the game's performing. So if you have a slower computer like I do, you can choose a lower CPU. I can go as high as Pentium MMX 166, but any higher than that, my computer can't handle it. If you do have a more powerful gaming PC, you can run as high as Pentium MMX 233 for better game performance. Make sure to set the memory at 128 megabytes. I'm just going to show you the settings of the PC I got made already. But my video card's a Voodoo 3, but you can choose other options such as the S3 Verge. Same with the sound, I chose Sound Blaster 16, but there are other options. You have to create a hard drive for the computer, so this is the tab where you do it. And this will take up real space on your computer, so it depends on how big you want to make it. I made my computer 35 gigabytes, but you can make it 2 gigabytes if you want, so it doesn't take up that much space on your host computer. Just make sure to use the same settings I'm using here. But you have to make sure that a C drive is selected. And you can see the size here, it's obnoxiously too big. You can completely make it 2 gigabytes or less if you want. So this is where you go in and actually create the hard drive itself. It's better to have a dynamic hard drive and just give it a name, and on the bottom right you can see the size in megabytes. And I just typed out 2000 megabytes as an example for 2 gigs. And keep it on large blocks. And you can save it wherever you want on the computer, but just keep in mind it will take up real space on your host computer. The next couple of tabs, not really big deal. I just chose a 2-button mouse. I did set up a joystick using a different software called VJoy, but that's not something you have to do. But if you want to get into it, just remember you can use VJoy. And that enabled PCem to pick up my joystick, and I set it up through CH Flight Stick Pro. You don't need to set up a network adapter. So when you're done, just hit play and it'll boot up. So this is the desktop. You can see that the mouse goes inside and outside the screen freely. You have to click on the screen to use the mouse within the software. This software is legitimately Windows 98, and it's using your host computer to run it. So these are games that don't need a CD, so I put them in their own folder, and you can see there's a lot of them. And you can see I can just click on Jizzball and it starts up right away, the same as it would on an old Windows 98 PC. But I'm going to show you how to run games that require a CD digitally. So you can see that the mouse is kind of stuck within the window, so in order to get out of that, you can hit Control End. And you can see that you got your normal mouse back and you can get out of it. So on the top there's an option for CD-ROM, and you can load an image. That's the same as loading a CD, so you can see I got the Duke Nukem games there. But for this example, I'm just going to use Road Rash. So you can load ISO files or Q files. I'm not going to tell you where you can get those, but I think you can figure it out. So you just open it up and you can see the CD loads, and Road Rash is good to play. And don't forget, you can change the CPU when you play depending on how the games are performing. So if your game's lagging, just change the CPU. It's also worth noting that you're going to need files to run Windows 98 in this software. And this is a ROMs folder, for example, so you'll need all these ROM files to run it. But there's lots of tutorials on YouTube on how to set this up in detail, so go check them out and get those files as well. So let me know down in the comments, what were your favorite PC games in the 90s? Because you saw what I like to play, but I'm sure there's like a billion out there that I should check out, which are awesome. And as always, subscribe, like the video, and share the video out there if you think anyone out there will like it. So thanks for tuning in, and take care.